Kondapalli is a writer and author and the former chairperson of the Center for East Asian Studies at Jawaharlal Nehru University. Joins us from the Indian capital of New Delhi. So, I think there's been some sensitivity over this summit, over especially who's been invited and who's not. For example, it's very interesting to see the Philippines as part of this, when other countries, not so much.
Indeed, who is in, who is out in this democracy summit is a big issue. Turkey, Hungary, many other countries from South America and various other countries have been excluded from this summit meeting. Of course, the summit meeting is meant for discussing three issues on authoritarianism, on corruption, on human rights related. But since the debate that began with Francis Fukuyama at the end of the Soviet disintegration in 1991. He mentioned about the triumph of democracies. But of course, there is a lot that need to be done domestically by many of these countries. We saw the January 6th insurrection in the Capitol Hill in United States. And of course, the ones during the Bush administration, as well as during the late Trump and Biden administration, we saw how democratic experiments have really come down in the United States political experience. In fact, the Freedom House and IDEA, they have estimated that even the United States is backsliding in terms of the democratic, measures. So there is a lot that United States need to explain in terms of these decision-making process where people need to participate, which is what we, as an operational definition for democracy. So this is controversial of who is in, who is out. But I think the target is obviously China and Russia.
Yeah, and I think, this opened the U.S. up to others criticizing it for what has happened there. However, the backsliding that we talk about and the removal of checks and balances deliberately, that was the prior administration. I mean, there are some deep-rooted problems in the U.S., but of course you could say it's better to gather the world's democracies together than to not do it. It's a good thing to have a summit like this when we see democracy backsliding all over the world.
Indeed, you said it rightly. During the Trump administration, we saw a lot of tension, and Black Lives Matter that you just highlighted is one of those symptoms of this. And the level of participation has also gone down in terms of the electoral participation or in terms of the role of other issues like social media, cryptocurrency, or other things which should be aiding democracy rather than, reducing the influence of the democratic experiment. So when we look at the U.S. track record, both at the domestic as well as at the external dimension, domestic, obviously there are issues. During the Bush administration, the Supreme Court of Texas has, finally got the elections results. Now, recently, during the late Trump and early Biden, we saw the courts intervening in terms of the ballot boxes and so on and so forth. Externally, United States had supported authoritarian regimes. Pinochet in Chile or in other places are quite a good example of the top-down kind of approach that they have had in these, especially in South America. So that is a big blot on the United States democracy. We also saw during Iraq, during Afghanistan, during other campaigns in Libya and Syria and other places, the trampling down on the democratic institutions and accountability, which is a crucial factor in defining democracy, that has also not been implemented in many of these places.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we could go on and on about the U.S.'s background, but you can compare that to a lot of other countries, especially currently now. The U.S. still has very strong democratic institutions, and it still has a free press. Srikanth Kondapalli, good to talk to you. Thank you.